All right, healthcare is a major expense for families in eastern Idaho. It seems to take up a larger chunk of the budget every year. So this week, we're going to try to help you save some money on healthcare. Later in the week, we'll have some advice for saving on prescription costs and some other things. But there are things that you can do with your own insurance to save you hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So joining us tonight to talk about that is Garth Hassel. He runs East Idaho Insurance in Idaho Falls. And Garth, it was interesting because I was thinking of more of talking about the things how to save a couple of bucks on insurance. But when I got in contact with on prescriptions, but when I got in contact with you, you said, well, this is the small picture. We need to look at the big picture with insurance. And so first today we want to talk about those people who have access to a group plan either through their employer or some other entity. So businesses usually have a couple of plans that people can choose from. How does someone know what's the right plan for them? Some of them have higher deductibles or reduced coverage in other areas. How do you figure all that out?
That's really a matter of one's tolerance for out-of-pocket expenses. The lower deductible, more generous plans are going to cost more. So it's a way it's like prepaying for a lot of your services. The higher deductible, more catastrophic plans, well, you're going to pay a lot more money out of pocket for your initial services. Mm-hmm.
So do you, I mean, if you tend to be someone who has more health concerns, then you probably want to go with the lower deductibles? So does that help offset some of those costs?
Often that's true. Not always. It's kind of a mathematical thing, but again, you're projecting into the future and nobody knows what the future holds.
Right. All right. Well, so I mentioned that sometimes there's limited coverage in some plans. What are some of the areas in healthcare when people are looking at those plans that maybe have reduced coverage so you can be aware going in? Like, for example, if you need an MRI, oh, that's a higher deductible for me. What are some of those areas?
Well, there are limited plans, and then there are comprehensive plans, and then there are plans that are really limited. Mm-hmm. So areas that tend to be limited are alternative care like chiropractic, outpatient services like physical, occupational, or speech therapy, durable medical equipment, mental and behavioral health, TMJ, things like that.
What about supplemental insurance? We've had people come around. I'm sure a lot of people have had these people. The most notable one of those might be the one that advertises with the duck. How do you know if a supplemental insurance policy is right for you and your family?
Well, supplemental insurance is different from major medical because supplemental pays you, the policyholder, cash. And that can be a great way to fill in the deductible gap in areas where you're more concerned about needing it. For example, an active family or has kids in sports, an accident policy can make a lot of sense for them. And then you have cancer insurance, which is like fire insurance for your house. People who need it are extremely grateful they've had it. I can't tell how many times I've heard people who've had cancer insurance tell me they still have their house because of it. Mm-hmm. And then in the case of newlyweds, you have women who are thinking about getting pregnant. Right. Supplemental hospitalization insurance there makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because you really got to know about your maternity coverage in your health insurance because that can vary from person to person, can't it?
There's a lot of variables for that maternity coverage. For example, with group policies, it's like any other sickness. And so those costs are applied to your regular deductible like any other illness. In Idaho, individual coverage has at least a $5,000 deductible for maternity only. It's totally separate from medical. Mm-hmm. And it could be quite a bit higher than $5,000. And then, now with the new healthcare laws, you have a lot of people who are of childbearing age who are on their parents' plans, whether it's a group or individual. And they don't realize that on individual plans, that dependent position on that policy doesn't have maternity coverage.
Right.
For group plans, that's often the case, not always.
So there are a lot of questions out there, and you're a great source of information. So what role does someone like you have in helping people figure out what kind of insurance they should have, what kind of coverage they should have, and how that can end up saving them really thousands of dollars over the course of a year?
Well, an insurance agent's really a risk management consultant whose services are free to you. So instead of making a stovepipe type of insurance decision, if you talk to an independent licensed agent, that person will help you look at your big picture. Because one decision can cascade into others and you'll never, ever even know it.
All right. Well, I appreciate the information. We're going to talk to Garth again tomorrow about what happens if you're out there looking for an insurance policy on your own. So that continues tomorrow.